price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. We have a very special broadcast for you, ladies and gentlemen, this evening. But before we get started, I encourage every single last one of you all to hit that like button. Hit that, well, first off, most importantly, hit that subscribe button, okay? We got to get these numbers up. We got to show people that this content is good content. We got to show the algorithm. We got to show the newer people that this message is being well received, that this message is powerful, and that people are galvanizing behind this message of Black empowerment. So that's why it's important for us to get our numbers up so we can reach a broader view. More people can see it when we have bigger numbers, so we can reach a broader view. We can help more people. So that's why that's important. Also leave a like, because not only does that show the algorithm that this is very highly liked content, this is good for the recommendations. It also shows the audience that, like I said, with the subscribers, people are galvanizing behind this type of content. So those things are very important. All right, we have a number of people in here already. DrRandyShort, first off, shout out to every single last one you see. Anatono, Ato, I believe, in here. War with Us, Jenny Harvey, Derek, our brother YGLTB1, Afro Bubble, SEMA 27, Royal Me, Sister Royal Me, our brother Iron Will, Avenge the Ancestors. I'm gonna have to go all the way down. I don't really have too much time to do that because we have a very special guest tonight, and our special guest, you all love it every time he's here. Our very special guest, our good brother, DrRandyShort, is in the building with us tonight, and we're going to be breaking down HR 4. The numbers. It's HR 4321. So without no further ado, let me introduce you all to our good brother, DrRandyShort.
Yes, hello. Afro Elite, aka Wonder, Afro Wonder. How are you? How are the wonderful people in Chicago? How are the wonderful people across the country? All the people standing in the gap for justice, liberty, and of course the almighty MFM. And
Yes,
we all
MFM.
want it. So can't you say MFM for us? Amen. Look, this doesn't have to be a long show, because I know you do so many shows. You know, I'm surprised you don't have eye strain. Every time I look up, you got about 10, 12 things. That boy got more energy. I'd hate to be his girlfriend. He probably need a back brace, you know. I'll buy them some Ben Gay at Dome's pills. Anyway, you are energetic. You keep producing and creating. It's really wonderful to see and meet so many people like you. Like I said, I can jump into my grave happily if I died tomorrow and said I knew people like James McCoy Jr., that people like him, they'll be around. The fight will go on. We'll get our MFM and we'll get justice and vengeance for our ancestors who went through horrific things. So thank you. And it's so wonderful to talk to you again. So let me know when to start or say something or do whatever you want, but I'm here.
Well, the first thing I want to do, first off, I want to thank you for coming back. You know,
invite me. I'll come back if you call me. I told you that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Call me. I was thinking, man, he getting so big, he don't know me no more. People change, you know, they just get like 5,000 people, man. DrRandyShort, man, I got 5,000 people. Anyway, so you call me if you think you need, you know, and that's the same. I said that for the other brother. You know, we built up his platform from 4 people to 504 in 3 weeks. So, and we'll see who else we can work with. And it's an honor and a privilege to work with any younger people that are serious. You need to we just have to, you know, we need to just give an applause to this brother here. He makes you feel so good, so proud of being Black and being a Black man and saying, wow, all the stuff that you do. And so it's a privilege to work with anybody trying to do something about this abysmal situation our people put in. And unlike other people who just do celebrities and dumb stuff, you be doing hardcore, hard news, serious stuff, stuff that make people have headaches. And you do every now and then you mess with the sorry people in entertainment, which is cool. Keep it interesting. So don't think that you can't call and ask. I'm saying this so your audience, I don't, if you're cool, I'm cool. Sometimes people act weird and it causes you to like leave them alone because you can't figure out where they're coming from. But if you stay like you are, a great person, a leader in the making, you're already a leader. You're the new Fred Hampton without stealing ice cream or getting gunned down early. Thank God. Just keep doing it. So if you ask me if I could do something for the serious people, I try. I think you'll find that to be true. Sometimes I can't do anything, but if I can, I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for all your kind words. I greatly appreciate that. And thank every single last one of you all who are watching right now for watching. And thank you everybody who's going to watch on the playback. Now, Dr. Short, I want to start this off is I want to introduce the subject we're talking about. So I have it pulled up here, and this is on the website. Okay, straight from the website. This isn't a screenshot or anything. You can see I'm scrolling up and down. This is HR 4321. Okay, it says to prohibit the United States government from providing bailouts or other financial assistance to any state or local government that enacts any law providing reparations for slavery and for other purposes.
My God.
So this bill was introduced by a Republican named Brian Babin.
Right.
Okay. So
and we call him Uncle Klan or the Lone Star Nazi.
Yeah. And he would deserve that title.
Yes,
so
he would.
This is the subject that we're going to be talking about right now is being introduced. For the people who might not know how it works is you introduce something and there's different stages of Congress. It would pass the House. That's a part of Congress. The Senate, that's a different part of Congress. The president would have to sign on it, and then it would become a bill, a law. I mean,
a law. Yes, sir.
So it's in the process. It's not a law yet, but it's in the process of making its way to that. And
it's practically a done deal. It's a done deal with the House, as far as I can see it. And so it's on its way. Of course, it is a bill, but it becomes an act. Once Congress, it gets through the House and through the Senate, it becomes an act. And if the president signs it, of course, it becomes a law, unless the president vetoes it. Trust me, some really bad news occurred today, which leads me to think if this reached the president's desk, he's going to sign it because he's now got a black woman named Shawanda Goff, a black lady with a very strange last name. And if you look her bio up, you can't find out who her parents are. And that's a whole tactic. Whenever they're pushing, they've got someone from Africa, Caribbean, they're orphan, they're biracial or something like that, and they don't want black folks to know. They don't let you know who their parents are. You may learn about one parent, but you won't get the whole deal. For example, the man, George Zimmerman, who shot Trayvon Martin, you always hear he's half Latino, but they don't say, well, what's the other half? And Zimmerman isn't a Latino name. Zimmerman is a Dutch or German name. To be more precise, it's a Dutch or German Jewish name. Okay, I remember being at this group called the Answer Coalition, and I kept asking people about George Zimmerman. They kept saying, he's half Latino. And I says, what's the other half? And the people there started screaming for asking, who is he fully? Because they were hiding his Jewish father, who's a judge, who is a Supreme Court justice in the state of Virginia, or a Supreme Court of Appeals justice in Virginia, but moved to Florida. In the case of this woman, Miss Goff or Miss Joff or whatever, it's a Welsh name, you can't find out any information on her. It's the same way you can't find information on a range of people when they're trying to move them, like that woman on the Supreme Court. You can't find out what her parents' names are. They don't want you to know that she's probably not a foundational Black American. I went to Harvard with her. They were mostly Caribbean and Africans with white parents, whatever. So I have my doubts about the lady on the Supreme Court, the one that looks like the catfish that everybody's so excited about. And I'm just saying, so this woman is going to be the woman that gets stuff done for Biden through the Congress, this woman, Shawanda. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a Black woman who's just about to advance some of the most controversial spending bills in the history of this country on Biden's behalf, she's not going to be someone that's going to say to Biden, sign reparations, don't be against reparations, after all the dust that he's going to kick up over this no good bill that he's got and all this money being spent in Ukraine. So this sister's probably, and she was under one of those neoliberal people, what's his name? Steny Hoyer, one of the most racist senators in the history of this country that most people don't know about because he's from Maryland, and people think that Maryland's progressive because of Prince George's County and the fake Black people with their government jobs there, think that Maryland's some bastion of Black freedom, and people don't even realize the only reason that Blacks even got civil rights in Maryland was due to the Republican Party. That's how bad the Democrats were in my lifetime. And I'm not that old. Okay, so you've got all of this moving happening. So Biden now has this Haitian broad who's his professional liar to defend him, the one that looks like a burnt up Ronald McDonald. And now you have this other woman, Joff. Now, this bill was given to the U.S. government, or I should say the House Subcommittee on Oversight on the 23rd of June. You need to understand that Babin and 13 other Republican members of Congress are co-sponsors. When you have co-sponsors, before it even gets to the committee, that says you have pull, because what people do in Congress is they trade votes and influence, sort of like people using their body to get weed or, drug nuggets for all you dope heads out there. When you want to get something, or a person that wants a trip to the movies, or they want to go to Steak and Shake or Red Lobster or something, you put out a little pootie to kind of ease up the liberality and loosen that wallet finger. And you do the same thing. Like I told you, Washington, D.C. is a tricky trick town. And in fact, if y'all think I'm playing and y'all think I'm lying, I got a new book today. I started reading it by Gerald Hearn. It's called Revolting Capital. And it talks about racism in Washington, D.C. And you didn't even have to get far into D.C. for them to talk about how nasty people are in D.C. and how folks do all kinds of stuff. And I'm trying to think where it was talking about early on in this book, how long time ago, when people had parties in D.C., you would take your clothes off at the door. Before you even got in, you're gonna have an orgy. You're gonna screw someone. Someone will be screwed. You're gonna screw if you come to Washington, and so you'll find the politics here is a lot like the people. They're filthy, they're nasty, they're dirty. They do all these kind of crazy, low budget things, and you get people's business. And the same way people trade wives and stuff like that to get favors, that's how they handle politics. You're my friend. You get high with me. I'll do this for you. Let me read this to you. On the other hand, the global influence in the district was not always wholesome. In the 1970s, the Iranian legation was notorious for a profusion of orgies, opium, and hashish, difficult to quarantine from the surrounding neighborhoods. Of course, the negative influences of the district did not always emerge from foreign legations. Then, congressional spouse Rita Ginrett recalled a time in the 1970s when the district, a bastion of male chauvinism, damn you. Are you hearing me? Someone called that interrupted me. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we were here. I heard like a little buzzing sound, but I was still hearing you.
I'm sorry. A bastion of male chauvinism, she says, was renowned for creative orgies. This is your government. This is how they get that people. I told you it's a nasty ass city. I'm not talking about the black people from down south or the people. These people coming here, these are filthy. That's where you get all these crazy laws and they push all this transitional stuff and trans. We got some really nasty people in government and they all hang tight around who they're sleeping with, sharing the same prostitutes, the Kennedys, all of that. I mean, the Bushes, they're freaks. And so you get this loyalty. If these guys all like ran a train on the same woman, they ran a train on the same woman, then they all got these votes lined up. You was there too. You was there too, Afro. I need you, man. The other day, wasn't that nice to you? Didn't I give you a nice bag of dope? I never asked you for nothing. I'm just telling you how it is here. It's backwards. Now, let me keep reading this. Was renowned for creative orgies. At the first party, people were taking off their clothes at the door.
That's
50 years ago. People were nasty. DC was nasty. Strip clubs and stuff right up the street from the White House. The president had someone put him up in a special car so he could look at naked people. There are even tunnels to bring holes and tricks in the White House so those people can freak and get it on. They have tunnels to get into the White House. If you saw that movie Jamie Foxx was in, White House Down, that's not a lie. They had tunnels for our ancestors that were enslaved, for folks to have tricks and all coming to these special houses and such. This is a freaky, perverted city. And I'm saying to you, so I'm going here to say to you, it operates through blackmail and extortion. It's not, and so Adam Clayton Powell knew about all the holes and tricks and queers and trans and such. And that's how he could get legislation passed to say, you know, I know that your mother's black butler screwing her. I know you're going to support my bill. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, in fact,
they went low and he went low with them. So
and he's the most successful black politician because he was there to get legislation passed. These other fools, these black coons in Congress, they're there to make friends and get rich and forget the rest of us. Adam Clayton Powell got more done screwing other people's wives, going on junkets, than all the black people that have served in Congress since he got kicked out in 1967. Because he knew the game. And the game, I'm just saying to you, so these freaky people, I used to be a butler for one of the highest ranking people in the Congress. Remember the white woman that signed the decree to make Bush, giving Bush the election in Florida? Her name is Catherine Harris. I used to work at Catherine Harris's house as a butler. And I would meet all of the conservative people that drink together, folk talk about who they're sleeping with and so forth. You hear it. I'm just saying it's a nasty, dirty ass city. You have a group of people. You even have a whole group of Republicans, two groups. One you don't hear much about called the Golden Rods. I wonder what kind of rod it really is. And then there's another group called the Log Cabin Republicans. I know them because I had to deal with them. And the Log Cabin Republicans are straight up white boys that fight, getting screwed in the behind and screwing people in the behind. And they are super powerful and they're super reactionary against black people. And those guys are often on the staffs of the congressmen. And there's a lot of hatred against black men, I guess, over just our skin color and dick size. Damn. 2 out of 2 ain't bad when someone hates you, right? Because you just can't make it.
At least we're giving them a reason.
Yeah, well, the point is, well, now with the Negro switch hitting, They run after white boys. They're probably mad about that too. You're too big. He hurt me. So, I guess it's 3 for 3. But anyway, back to this bill. It is now the same kind of racist Nazi type groups. And brother, if anyone wants a copy, they can email me. My email is wrandyshort@gmail.com. I will happily send you a PDF of a book called The Pink Swastika, which talks about the strong connection between the homosexuality and white men and Nazism and this extreme hatred of black people. It's connected. You see Big Pride Month that's taken down Juneteenth. It's a movement. They're haters. And I'm bringing this up because these extreme white male groups are full of these deviant, penis-licking white guys who just hate our guts. And a lot of them are in Republican and Democratic Party, both hands. And so these people have this secret brotherhood that goes across the aisle. So if they got this bill, right, and if these guys did their skull and bone stuff, or then some other group, Alpha Beta, or something like that, in college, and they all poured beer up each other's asses and drank it out, and someone says hate niggas, and you drank beer out of my asshole too, right? Then they all in lockstep come after us as if we did something to them, and we're owed this money.
Yes.
I'm saying all that to say that about 40 to 43 Republicans have refused to denounce white supremacy, racism, or white nationalism. And a bunch of those people are co-sponsors of this bill, and some of the people that refuse to denounce white supremacy, white nationalism, or white racism are on the subcommittee for government oversight. You know, the white woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is on there. The Jamaican dude, Byron David, the big dude who looks like he played football, he's a Jamaican, not a Black American. You need to know that of the other sponsors of the bill, you have who I would say is Negro Jim or Ratatouille. Remember the cartoon Ratatouille?
Yeah, the movie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know there's a Black member of Congress who's a Republican that looks like Ratatouille?
No, I didn't know that.
You want me to show the picture? He does look like damn Ratatouille. I don't give a damn who does. I mean, I'm calling him like I see him. This dude looks like Ratatouille. That blew my mind.
And
I said, oh my God.
As you're pulling that up, I can show the list because I was able to pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to pull up the list. I think this is, the list of these are the co-sponsors of the bill. So, and why I feel like it's important for us to talk about this and show this is because a lot of times we hear about certain things, but they're very secretive with the names. So you'll hear about a certain bill, but they won't say the name of the person who introduced the bill or the people who are co-sponsoring the bill. So with that, they'll go on to do other things and get in other different positions and get their hands in other things. And you won't know it's them because you didn't know their name. So this is important because what we have to do, because we're the only ones who do it, everybody else is against us. We have to keep track of the names and we have to keep track of the paperwork. So these are the people, and this isn't one or two people. This is a decent number of people who are co-sponsoring this bill. Okay.
Now, where is it? You see Ratatouille here?
Yeah.
That's Ratatouille.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna show you this dude. He looks like they based the cartoon off of him. He does look. Hold on. Let me pull this. The thing went down. Hold on. Open back up. Why did it shut down? You know what? We're gonna have real studios one day, won't we? We're gonna have real studios. Hold on, here it is. It went.
Okay,
I had it. Here it is.
Okay.
And why did this thing get dark?
All right, I made you bigger.
Dude,
he does look like what's that? A rat?
He does look like a rat. The teeth and the ears. He looks like Ratatouille. He looks like Ratatouille. And he is a Caribbean tether who is supporting this genocide bill. Let's go through this again. This bill, the way it's structured, my friends, would not only knock out any opportunity for any city, state, county, town to give reparations in the future. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Not just that, but when it gets to the states, if that ever became a federal law, it would take a life of its own. It's sort of like separate but equal was to be for like maybe trains. It was Trains Plus. He was fussing about the trains and being forced to ride in a colored car. Okay. But once that separate but equal thing got to the Supreme Court, the states ran with it and made it everything, made it water fountains, bathrooms, hospitals. I mean, everything, blood supply. Once it becomes a federal law, remember, this federal system that we have is a partnership between the states and a central federal government. The states basically do more or less what they want. So if the federal government says, don't give blacks reparations, if you do, we won't, and this is what the bill is promising, if you give black people anything, we cut your asses off forever. So every state and city and town has unfunded mandates, schools, hospitals, power, water, roads, postal service, right? Imagine losing all of that because you gave a few Negroes crumbs.
That's true. They don't want to give us anything anyway.
Right. So imagine saying, I already know you don't want to give them anything, but guess what? If you ever give them anything, I'm taking everything from you. It's analogous to a kid going to school and your parents saying, you better never get your ass beat. If you get your ass beat, I'm going to beat your ass too. What's that going to make the kid do? That kid's really going to fight because it's really going to be bad to get your ass kicked by your parents.
Yeah.
After you got your ass kicked, which means it's going to incentivize extreme racism against black people. Like in fact, it's putting money. It's going to put trillions of dollars on, do you or do you not hate black people when they already do? And in fact, do you want the money that you normally get? You better hurt that black person over there. Now, some of you are not Southerners, or some of you haven't grown up as a person born in the middle 60s. I grew up with people, they were so bigoted that, they beat up their friends or say, look, you got to fight that nigga over there. You have to fight all of us. And this is why, because you spoke to him. You don't talk to niggas. So if we don't see you fighting that Negro like your life counts on it, we're all going to beat you. That's it. So sometimes the craziest people are the folks who have no choice. They face a greater repercussion for not being at war with us than they would if they were against us. So they're literally putting all of ours, including the tax money black people pay, on the side of people who hate us, which means the taxes we pay are subsidizing people to hate our guts, exclude us, and marginalize us. And it would all be legal. And look at how the budgets in the cities are running out of money with all these goddamn illegals.
Yeah.
That would be even more reason to say, hey, look, it's already going to mess with us if we get, so let's cut all these programs for blacks because they could be seen as reparations and we want to get our federal money. But you know what? We can still help the poor illegals that are here. Well, the black folks have been here long enough, they'll make it because, if we spend any money on them, we'll lose everything. And that will and it'll extend. So imagine how long before if having a summer jobs program is seen as reparations and you need to get rid of it. Internship program, it's reparations, get rid of it. SNAP, WIC, a Head Start, TRIO, Upward Bound, Minority Set-Asides, the Community Reinvestment Act. Basically, it allows for a legal framework to justify basically contradicting the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. And trust me, taking it before the court that you've got right now, there's a good possibility that it would fail to challenge it. So I'll say this and I'll stop. We are at total economic war on a way like never before. And all of these people who hate our guts are behind this legislation. And the Democrats who are worried about people like Con Man West running for president, they're concerned about the Black low voter turnout. They know that letting bad things happen to Blacks that Republicans initiate is a way to anger and get Black voters to the polls. So the Democrats are going to sit on their hands and let it happen the same way the Republicans, when the roles were reversed, sat on their hands when the Democrats fought against anti-lynching legislation and any other legislation that would benefit Black people. Because we're dealing with white hatred, white supremacy, white bigotry, anti-Black racism. They're basically on the same team. It's sort of like a tranny and a drag queen. I mean, what's the difference really? Especially if they didn't get their thing hacked off. However, the tranny is more likely to be able to get in the women's restroom and expose themselves than the drag queen.
Yes. Now, I wanted to bring up this point, and you mentioned this, that what the bill states, and I want to show it to you, everybody, so you know this is 100% true. This is 100% legit. What the bill states is it is trying to prohibit the United States government to providing bailouts, and that's vague. So, you know, what do they deem as bailouts or other financial assistance? And I'm saying that to say what Dr. Short said was very accurate, because what do bailouts and financial is, it's vague enough to where unemployment can be considered financial assistance. You know,
SSI.
Yeah, SSI.
Supplemental nutrition. Everything is a bailout. Everything is too much of a handout. Stop giving it to them. So, yes, it's nothing for Black people anymore. Sounds perfect.
Exactly. And that's very deliberate. That's very deliberate that they worded it that way, because not only does it's like killing two birds with one stone. Not only does it completely block reparations, they can now remove pretty much Black people getting anything at all with
forever.
And another point that I would like to make up that I think is very important, we're hearing a lot about how Republicans claim that they don't want all of this illegal immigration and it's bad for the country, which we understand is bad for the country. But notice how they're not trying to introduce a bill that prohibits states from providing resources to illegal immigrants, but they're trying to introduce a bill to prohibit the government from helping us, from doing anything to us, and we're owed something.
And that's why I'm calling it
bills to block the illegals.
Asians or anybody, it's a genocide bill. And that's why I am president and co-founder of BACPAC, the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee. We are the first people out. You should see it, at least in the news, that we are attacking this. We are attacking it. I'm speaking to someone, thanks to one of our partners, and I'll tell you more. This is going to be an ongoing campaign. We're looking at a way to have people professionally lobby Congress to be against this. In addition to that, we need people's help. We want to do petitions, letters, but also direct action. All across the country, people can begin to contact their senators and their House of Representative members. If you know which congressional district you're in, you can share this number. It's very easy to reach out to your congressional office in DC. That number is 202 Again, 202-202-202. And you can either do 225, 225, 225, 225, 225 for our people with autism whose parents vaccinated them, their stupid asses. 225, 225, or 224, 224, 224, 224, 224, 224, 3121, 3121, 3121, 3121, 3121, 3121, 202, 225, and or 224, 3121, 3121, 3121. Call. Get your congressperson or any people on the House Congressional Subcommittee for oversight. Get the numbers, get the emails, look these devils up, and write them. Shut their emails and their offices down. Tie up their phones. Let them know we're not going to be without our money. We want our MFM. This is a genocide bill, and whichever party supports this is going to lose in 2024. This is a bill that guarantees a massive loss for whichever parties are guilty of supporting it, because I blame the Democrats too. Nobody likes us. And yes, I'm registered as a Republican, but look at what I'm doing as a registered Republican, as opposed to Negroes or the Democrats, who never see anything wrong when a Democrat does something. No matter what happens, they're so loyal to the party. I couldn't care a damn about a party. If you don't like me or my people or my God, because if you hate my people, you hate God as far as I'm concerned, then I'm going to complain and raise hell. And I want to let you know that Backpack isn't just going to go after people in Congress. We're going after the boule. There are a bunch of people in Delta Sigma Theta in Congress. There are a bunch of people in Alpha Kappa Alpha who are in the Biden administration that should be raising hell. There are boule Negroes who knew about this bill. They've been quiet because they didn't want to do anything because their interests are not aligned with the Black masses. And this is something that we have to fight. In fact, I was reading about that, and this wonderful book, Gerald Horne's book here, Revolting Capital.
Can you show it again?
Sure. Revolting Capital by Professor Gerald Horne, who's in the University of Texas system. I forget what city it's in, but it's a cheap book. You can get it. And he was talking about how Black folks in DC, the fake ass niggas here in DC, I'm just telling you, they're so fake. I mean, this is what has me so angry with these people, how these folks don't want to have anything to do with doing anything to help other Black people. And they are angry. They do whatever they can not to be helpful to Black folks unless it's absolutely forced to. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
These people are snooty. They're fake. They sort of know they're Black, but they don't want to be hooked up with them. You know what I'm saying? And they do whatever they can to go slow on standing up for Black issues. You get where I'm coming from? These people don't like us. Their interests are different from ours. They don't want to do too much. They don't really like being associated with us, yet they can't be white people, so they get in a position of authority amongst Black people so they could be, around white folks as far away as they can from Black people. And if I were to read to you that portion that stood out in my mind that talks about how the Black people here are, the bougie, fake, liar, DC type Negroes, they're scum, I swear to you. People come here to be sellouts, and we're being sold out. This is only happening because successful Black people don't give a damn about the people who are not as successful. And this is sort of what happens. You know what I'm saying? Listen to this. Let me see if I can find this, because I have a really nice quote here. Y'all want to understand DC culture. These fake ass people here. Damn, these people are fake. You have no idea. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm gonna read it right now. Here we go. This infusion of petty bourgeois ideology, this is a fake boule Negroes, often accompanied this stratum of the city disproportionately comprised of wage workers. In other words, it's saying that the bougie Negroes that made it don't like the ordinary ones that have jobs. But this stratum shaped the aspirations and the Black families that dominated the upper reaches of this compact Southern town. Validated the plaint of the late singer Led Belly that Washington was most definitely a bourgeois town. Scholar Kenneth Jenkins argued that the elites, the Syphaxes, Bruces, Pinchbacks, Terrells, some of them are like related. I'm sorry. Well, high yellow Negroes, they're all fake, think they're white. And no more than 100 other families, 5,000 in 1900. Listen to this. At times, opposed separate facilities for Blacks and whites on the grounds that this would force them to associate with the lower class of their race. In other words, they please don't segregate us. We'll have to be around Black people. We hate Black people. We want to be with you. And this is the leadership. Listen to this. On the other hand, this stratum, frequently melanin deficiency aside, were nonetheless Blacks and had to suffer the indignities of the same. So they know they're Black, but they don't want to like do anything to change it for the masses of us, and yet don't want to pay for the fact that if no one fights racism, it's going to kick their ass too. But as long as it's kicking us harder.
So it essentially is like their self-hate for their Blackness.
Yes.
Causes them, because they can't be, they know that they can't be white. They know that.
But that doesn't stop them from trying anymore. That doesn't stop gays from trying to have children.
That's true.
They keep trying.
Good point. Good point. Their self-hate essentially makes they take it out on other Black people. You know, it makes them, because they hate themselves. You know, it's easy for them to harm other Black people because hey, look, at least I'm in a different financial situation, at least for the time being, than you guys are.
And then I found the paragraph that I wanted. This is talking about Negroes that had a few pennies to rub together. This was occurring as the finance capital wing of the ruling class, these are the rich white people, were and becoming ever more influential in the Democratic Party, which is where all our stupid asses are. So the racist, rich white folks come into the Democratic Party to just make it not even be a party for working class people. But, you know, what the hell do we know, right? Democrats are our friends. President Johnson was a friend of the Negro. Becoming ever more influential in the Democratic Party, which also housed African Americans, but listen to what he says, but whose narrow class interests, he's talking about the Negroes who think they're successful, were not always aligned with those of this Black base. In other words, those Negroes in Congress, those congressional Black circus Negroes, people like Negro Jim, Clarence Burgess Owens, and other people like that. And he's a tether, but there are other people who are non-tether FBA sellouts, right? Who would be a slave before they saw a grave. Happy, shoot. Man, I'll polish off your tombstone, sir. I mean, I put turtle wax on it for you, right? These people not always align with those of the Black base. It means that they're off code. This is 100 years ago. Off code. You don't get fucked up like we are today without people who could do better, that know better, that have the resources being off code. It's
Yes.
P. Diddy spending more time chasing boys than doing something to stop all the nasty, vulgar, degenerate, queer music and filth that they're putting out. I mean, why not do that? Why not pay people a decent royalty? There are Black folks who don't share. They're the beneficiaries of the struggles and sufferings of all of our people, and they don't share with the rest of us. In fact, they're sitting back, letting us get bumped off. You know, I brought my other book here. I'm showing this to people. It's called
Let me make it. Okay.
Jews Should Stay Quiet. And it talks about how the American Jewish leadership let the Jews in Europe get barbecued and gassed and mass raped and mass murdered and made into soap by the Nazis and the Ukrainians and others. And American Jews who had money were worried about their white friends because Jewish people were segregated. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 helped Jews more than helped Black people. Jewish people until 1964 were under what was called restriction. Basically, that's gefilte fish, Hanukkah, Jaime, matzo ball, Manischewitz, Jim Crow, for you guys that don't know history. The Jewish people were supporting Black folks as being out front to fight Jim Crow to get restrictions off of their asses, which means they didn't even really fight like they could fight. They hid behind us getting our asses beat, bombed, water hosed, jailed, and assassinated. But when it came down to their own peeps somewhere else, they didn't do shit. They're rich, they're rich Jews in Europe and in America let the poor Jews be wiped out. This is the kind of Black leadership we have. And until people watching this don't stop worshiping the person with the big car and the big house and ask them, what have you done for us lately? Until we stop pretending that a Black person that has a lot of money isn't necessarily my friend. Why would they give a damn about me? We need to demand that they give a damn about us to stop coming around, stop using us, stop saying we speak for Black people. Because white folks only deal with them because they think that we are with these sorry coon ass people. Go ahead, brother. I just want to say on my thought.
Yeah. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. And thank you everybody who's been sending cash apps. I see all of your cash apps. I appreciate all of your cash apps.
Send me one too.
Very, very much. Also, yeah, his not the cash apps. I meant the super chats. I meant the super chats. But his cash app,
Send them some money,
is
yo.
Dr. Randy Short. Very simple, very easy. Now, a point I want to bring up, and this goes back to what you were saying a little bit earlier, Dr. Short, is how what we're seeing, or what rather we're not seeing from the Democratic Party, because what they like to do is they like to allow the Republicans to do something bad to Black people as they sit on their hands. And like you said, they know that angers Black voters. And when Black people vote, it's a likelihood that they'll be able to win. They understand that Black voter turnout, Black people are not motivated, despite everything going on with Joe Biden and everything, or in Trump. Black people are not really politically motivated to go out and vote in the next election. They've been saying this for a long time now. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to allow the Republicans, like they always do, to be the big bad guy. And then they're going to say, hey guys, you know, the Republicans, it's kind of bad, but it'd be doom and destruction if you guys let them in. You have to vote first. We're the only ones who can stop them. You have to, I mean, come on.
And they're saying, you know what?
It is now.
We might be date rapists, but we're not pedophile killers.
Exactly.
So you come to and say, Black folks, y'all really being traumatized by those people. I wasn't so bad when I reached up your dress when you were in the car. At least you got a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? We're getting pimped around our pain, but we're not getting tangibles. You know, We need and must have tangibles. And this bill is not the only bill that this Brian Babin has. I want to point people's attention to two organizations. One organization called GENSA. Look it up for me. It stands for the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs, JINSA. A lot of people don't know that all the police forces across the country, all your major cities, have a GENSA office where people are sent to Israel and they study how the Israelis kill and beat up Palestinians. And that's applied to our communities. And this happens particularly in democratic cities, and it's supported. In other words, police brutality is part of the package when you get people elected to office in a major city. It isn't a happenstance. It isn't just the police anymore. It's now the governing system to Palestinize us, Palestinianize the Black community, GENSA. And this is happening in all the cities in America. But I said Democrats, but you need to know there's a no good Negro from Ohio named Kenneth Blackwell. You can pull his ass up. He was lieutenant governor in Ohio. He stole the election for Bush a few years ago. What about 20 years ago, 2024, I'm sorry, 19 years ago. He stole the election in 2004. And of course, the lady that stole the election in Florida was the lady I used to work for. She's very nice to me, by the way. I mean, sometimes people are very nice in person, but the policies that they represent. Now, let me say to you that Kenneth Blackwell, there he goes. He doesn't care a damn about us, and he's on the board of GENSA. Yes, this coon is on the board supporting you being tortured, beaten, abused, and he's getting paid off of it. He's the highest ranking non-elected Black Republican in this country. This is someone that people need to step to. Now, it's not just him. There's another one, Alveda King. Bring her up. I know Alveda, but I'm very disappointed. These people should be raising hell from the rafters about this. Pull up Alveda King. Look like Miss Butterworth used too much chemical, too much Ambi. Okay, pull up Miss Butterworth with lots of Ambi. Come on, bring it.
Yep, here she is.
There you go.
Got it right here.
Bring it up. Get the one over on the far. Okay. Miss Butterworth, you sure look white. Are you sure your syrup is good as the dark one? Yes, baby, I'm sure. I'm just as good, just as creamy and sweet, just a little lighter, but just as much sugar. You got to have that type 2 diabetes. Okay. Now, Alveda King and Kenneth Blackwell are on the America First Policy Institute, which is Donald Trump's organization that works on policy for running the country. Alveda King, who you see here, is the person in charge of Black outreach for Donald Trump. And they're not doing a goddamn thing about 4-3-2-1. You ever have a difficult time remembering it, Afro? 4-3-2-1. And it's a countdown to them destroying us. If they can get 4-3-2-1 through, we're finished.
Yes.
People like her, like Alveda, know about this shit and don't do anything. And she's Dr. Martin Luther King's niece, and they're betraying Dr. King's name and brand. Dr. King died, talked about reparations. You have not heard the King family come out. We need to stop showing love to people just because their family got killed back in the day. I think it's ridiculous when you sit back and let this happen to people because you need to get paid or you feel you're owed because some really bad things did happen. I'm very cognizant of assassinations of people in the King family. They're awful. They're atrocities. I think that the King family should get reparations, and they've gotten some, but they need to spread the pork around. We all need some. Okay. We all need some. And it's atrocious that the King family hasn't opened their damn mouths about reparations. That includes Martin Luther King III, who looks like a mulatto, Bozo the Clown. We need our MFM King family, and we're not going to forget, maybe the wrong king was on the balcony, because y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do this to us anymore. To be silent, to be celebrating, put up everywhere it's the face of Black people, and y'all don't open your mouths.
Mm-hmm.
No one's asking people to go to jail, get bit by dogs, or to get shot. But you can't say wrong is wrong, and some of y'all claim to be ministers of God. Bernice King, you're supposed to be some kind of woman minister. You can't prove that by me if y'all haven't opened your mouths about reparations. How dare you guys collect millions of dollars from the government and other people in the name of your daddy, and then not stand for what he talks about? Exactly. Even the Kennedys, with their dad dropping LSD and screwing all kinds of women in the White House. Normally, you can find some of the Kennedys out front, like Robert Kennedy Jr., saying what needs to be said about injustices. No excuse. The Kennedys had people killed too. So Kings, sorry. Your amnesty is over. We're going to be going. Backpack is going after the Boule. Backpack is going after civil rights legacies. Stop getting accolades for what happened 60 years ago if you can't do a goddamn thing for us right now.
Can I comment on that? Because I fully agree with what you're saying. The thing that to me bothers me the most is not only the fact that your father was literally assassinated by the United States government trying to fight on behalf of our people. Not only is that not motivating enough for you, you're going to use his name and likeness to benefit your life, to get
and
all
help the people
accolades.
help the people that killed your father, your uncle, your grandmother, your aunt. Damn. I mean, all you have to do is halfway have a disagreement with the white person. I hate all Black people to the end of time. That's how bad off it. Yeah. I'm thinking, if you tried to kill my grandpappy, but you failed, you got my grandmother's dead. You killed my dad, who was born 18 months from his brother, and they were killed roughly 18 months apart. They killed A.D. King. Arthur Daniel King was killed in 1969 or died in a freak thing in 1969. He may have been shot with a poisonous dart, an ice dart, in his swimming pool. And July of 1969, Dr. King died, of course, on April 4th, 1968. Think about that. Like about 18 months apart.
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? Someone goes in to off grandpa. They miss grandpa. They had this Negro, a Manchurian candidate. There were 2 assassination attempts on the King family with Black people. One woman was named Izola. She's the woman that stabbed Dr. King in the 50s and nearly took him out. I wonder if she was a Delta. I don't know. But this crazy Black woman tried to kill Dr. King. And this crazy Manchurian candidate, brainwashed Negro, tried to kill Dr. King's daddy. Okay, so I get that they've hurt people in the King family. I'm saying this out loud so people aren't thinking I'm not sensing trauma and suffering in the King family. I put that up front to say that's wrong, and I feel for that. However, with the exception of grandma, that's stuff over 50 years ago, and grandma's almost 50 years ago. At some point, we're told to heal, and they're killing people every day. They're evicting people every day. They're mass incarcerating people every day. They're making people homeless every day. People denied opportunities every day for the last half century. And excuse me, if you can't handle the mantle, then you need to give it up. If you can't speak up, get out of the limelight of being in leadership. Stop dealing with that. Stop pimping. Look, with your name, y'all can sell family rights and shit, make movies, Oliver Stone. You can make money. You don't have to screw us.
Exactly.
To make it. So the fact that you could get money other ways, and if you're not smart enough, that's still your dumbness. It's not our fault. I'm not sorry. The fact that y'all won't speak up. In fact, let me tell you something about Bernice King. I'm gonna say this. I don't give a damn. 9 years ago, 9 years ago, when the people in Ferguson, Missouri, not far from you, about what, 5 hours from you by car, 4 or 5 hours, yeah.
About that.
Yeah. I've taken the bus. I've taken Megabus from St. Louis to Chicago. It's about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Those people down there were protesting, being killed, brutalized, fined, all kinds of stuff. You know, the King family went down there, Bernice King, and told the people to stop protesting.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, forgive me, bitch. What's your damn problem? I mean, who are you to tell people that they can't speak up to police murder? It's that. So in order to honor Dr. King, we've got to kiss your ass. We've got to let you guys misrepresent the dreams because you guys drive Mercedes and you guys get money from both parties. Alveda shakes down the Republicans and Bernice shakes down the Democrats. And so they play both political parties and neither of them do anything that delivers tangibles to Black people. You got homeless people washing in the fountain that Dr. King's crypt is in, and it doesn't move you. See, this is part of why this struggle for reparations, it's going to require movement, people, where we start holding even Black folks accountable, that we in the faces of Negroes. Don't you speak for me, damn you. Stop, get out of public life. Stop talking for Black folks. If you won't address the issues of the majority of us, even if Negroes don't know how or don't believe in reparations, but those of us that understand this justice, we can't let anything separate us from the love of God or for our MFM. Yes. Okay, because we're gonna need it, and it's ours.
Yes.
And nobody, I don't care who got killed in their family in the last 500 years. You know, Emmett Till's a distant cousin of mine. That doesn't mean anything special if I ain't trying to fight against the stuff that killed that distant cousin of mine. Killed 10 years, just under 10 years before I was born. That's a fact. It doesn't mean a damn thing if I don't do what I can do living right now. That's what I have to say to the King family. And I'm not saying to you anything I haven't sent in an email, because I don't talk behind people's backs. I tell people straight up, you damn selling us out, stop it.
Yes.
And I did that about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'm not a fake person. I don't like doing that. I go and beg people, please do what's right. Now I'm angry because it seems like keeping silence. In fact, who said there comes a time where silence becomes betrayal? Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I can't be silent about the sorry ass second generation of kings that are not speaking up. Martin Luther King, you like the scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz. You don't have a brain, brother. You guys are going to end up being hated by the masses of Black people because y'all have the opportunity to say something, to raise your voice about something other than your dad or somebody getting killed. In fact, I'm going to just say this. The Kings, you guys are suckers and chumps because Coretta Scott King died due to medical neglect and abuse down in Mexico. And y'all have never said anything, and they killed your own damn mom. So how are they going to speak up for us? You don't speak up when they killed your mama, and that don't open your damn mouth. They killed your dad, killed your grandmother, killed your mama, and they don't have shit to say about reparations for the rest of us. Get the fuck out of here.
Well put. Excellently put. And this is why it's a lot I can say about that. But, you know, I'm going to say this is why it's very important that we understand that Dr. King, that was who he is. Coretta Scott King, that was who she is. They have children. Those are completely different individuals. Too often we think, oh, like father, like son. So the son is going to be like the dad, but that's not 100% the case.
It ain't 50%. Damn. It's, you know, it's we need to get out of brand names and all that. And it's about what you're doing now. You know, if you have a girlfriend and you turned her out about 2 years ago and you didn't drop pipe for 3 years, she'd start thinking you were gay, right? Because like, she'd be looking at you, excuse me, Afro, do you want me to get you some Viagra or some horny goat weed? And just, oh, this is so terrible. Right. She'd start tripping if you didn't do what you once did well, immediately someone starts saying, well, what's wrong? They said, you don't like me. You don't want me. You hate me. You hate me. You hate me. I know you know, right? Right? You don't touch it, right? Well, I feel hated by the black elite. I feel hated by the boule. I feel hated by the Congressional Black Circus. I feel hated by the National Asshole Network. I feel hated by Urban Greed. I feel hated by the National Congress of Black Churches. I feel like all of them hate us. And you know what? Unlike Dr. King, if the brotherly community that he talks about is in the way of our MFM, then hell, I don't want a brotherly community. Let's be enemies, but I get paid. Let's hate each other, and I'm on my yacht and you're on yours.
I agree. Now, someone earlier in the chat room, this was, I forget your name, person to the chat room, thank you for this, but they asked the question, going to HR 4321.
4321. Make it easy for yourself.
4321. Okay. They asked, because this is very specific to our lineage, is there a possibility that we can sue?
Of course, there's a possibility you can sue, but it has to be made a law first. And where would you sue? You'd have to go to the Supreme Court. Now, imagine, what if Clarence Thomas, who just said in that affirmative action thing that he wasn't against lineage-based reparations? Clarence Thomas said that. But what if the Democrats in the Supreme Court are against, like Sotomayor, the woman that looks like a Gila monster with the wig on? You think she wants black people to get reparations? Do you think Alito wants that? And I always tell people, when I used to work at the Supreme Court, I swear to you, the Supreme Court Justice Roberts, I'm telling you, it was like he saw us and he was switching in front of us. This really happened. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This really happened. Let's see a white guy with the sloppy seconds ass switching. Anyway, these people don't dig us. So you got Kavanaugh, you got the white woman that's had more babies than the woman in the shoe. So you may end up having just two people. The Caribbean tether, the one that looks like the catfish, I call it Kentucky Fried Chicken. Her and Clarence Thomas may vote for reparations. And the other 7 people on the court vote against it. And it would be a black versus white thing. If they basically say hell to the no, then that would be the law of the land, and it would basically be fuck you for another 50 years until Negroes have some movement to make things change. So it can be fought, but we don't have the kind of movement or institutional strength galvanized. We have it, but it's not organized because it's atomized and divided by our traitor black elites and our misleadership class. This stuff wouldn't be happening to us if we were mobilized to protect ourselves. Their jobs, the black elite, get stuff based on them not delivering to us. You just heard me read, their interests were not aligned with the black base. They don't care about what matters to you and I. That's why they support the illegals, and they support trans, and they support everything but us.
Yes.
They're giving money to Ukraine, but there's no money for school lunch or for seniors or for black vets. And you don't hear a peep. And the House Minority Speaker is a high yellow Hakeem Jeffries. I guess he thinks he's cute because he has hazel eyes. Shoot, I don't care what eye color man has. That's queer just off that. I don't care what his damn eye color is. Why aren't you opening your goddamn mouth about this bill? And what do they have on him? You know, Nancy Pelosi had a book with all the nasty stuff that the people in Congress did. Like she had stuff on the one that looks like the caveman from the Geico commercial, Al Green, who's down in Texas. He does look like a damn caveman.
He does. I can't.
He looks like a caveman. He looks like a caveman. He looks like a caveman. I said it. Caveman looking Negro. That this man Congress had to bail him out. They had to pay almost $900,000. It would be $900,000 in today's money, because there was a woman who was a recovering cocaine addict. She told him, and he took her, forced her to snort cocaine, raped her, and demanded that she become his girlfriend. And when she refused, he blackballed her. I'm telling you, DC is nasty. It's the District of Caligula. It's a filthy place with nasty people that come here. I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm telling you, the symbol of DC is a monument. That's like a big white dick sticking in the sky. It never gets that big, but shh. Anyway.
I understood that reference. I understood. I hope it didn't go over y'all head, but I understood that reference.
I'm saying to you that this thing is nasty. It's nasty. And so Al Green got bailed out by the Congress. They paid the black woman that he raped and forced her to snort cocaine. They paid this woman almost $900,000. It's about $900,000. It's $900,000 in today's money. Maybe it's $1 million. It was like $879,000. The woman's name is Lucinda Green or Lucinda Daniels. I'm just saying, you look this shit up. I'm not lying. And Sheila Jackson Lee, also from Texas, the woman in charge of us getting the reparations study. Did you know that she was stripped of her post in the Congressional Black Caucus because a woman that got raped, a black woman, got raped by a black man who was in the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and Sheila Jackson Lee fired her because she filed rape charges against the man that raped her. You see, a lot of this stuff bad that happens to women, ladies, it's a whole bunch of women out there that either reinforce or enable abuse and stuff happening to women. This stuff wouldn't happen if women were on code. A lot of women don't care about other women. And some of those women that don't care are right here in DC in the Congressional Black Caucus. And I'm going to just say something about that oversight committee. A couple of the Democrats, they're Latinos and Asians. I think they're not going to support black people getting paid. And some of the people on that committee, I think they're tethers. And then there's some of the people in that committee that are sycophants. One of the people with the longest tenure on that committee is Eleanor Holmes Norton, the delegate to Congress from Washington, D.C. She's an octogenarian woman that can hold more drinks than a reservoir. I said it. And hell, my grandfather wrote up the paper for that nigga to be in Congress. I'm not apologizing to people. Fuck all this. You know, I love Jaguar Wright. I like the way she just go in on people. We need to start doing this on people, not just in entertainment, but people who betray us politically, and no good, raggedy, filthy preachers, nasty ones. They all need to retire like Jesse Jackson before they get that sick. You know, he looks like Jabba the Hutt, drank too many Slim Fast these days. Anyway, you can laugh. Go ahead.
I'm trying you be cracking me up, Dr. Short.
No,
you can laugh. I try to be serious.
You have to, no, don't be serious. You know, goodness well. I mean, that was just bothering me. You better laugh. That's good. He does look like Jabba the Hutt, overdosed on Slim Fast.
Okay.
I'm glad he's retiring, but we need all of these folks who couldn't open their damn mouths. You're in Congress to open your mouth for us.
Exactly.
You know, but I'll tell you something. And my issue is the only person up on the hill that opens their mouth is Kamala Harris, but it's not about policy. It's not about freedom. It's not about MFM. Open your mouths for something else and shut the cracks of your asses, men up in Congress. So we know a whole bunch of folks. I got my eye on you, Al Green. I got some suspicions.
Oh boy.
And I'm sorry, DC is full of freaks. All of them are up there. They're all boulets, sellout. We need to get rid of all of them. When are we going to have a Kool-Aid party where Negroes just get mad? If you let this shit happen to us, fuck all of y'all. I don't care who got shot in your family in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. Your asses have to go.
No.
The call is out to everybody to get angry and to get angry in a hurry and do whatever you can to tell people about this, to go after elected officials. Somebody knows someone. There enough of y'all been out there tricking and all. Maybe y'all have slept with one of those Negroes in Congress. You need to tell your raggedy ass boyfriend or girlfriend if you munch carpet that they need to speak up. Somebody knows Cori Bush down in St. Louis, the one. She used to look like a Rottweiler when she first came in. I'm telling you, money changes things. I didn't even know who she was. Now she looks like a slim Lizzo. Before, I was going to try to buy her flea collar. Seriously, like go do a GoFundMe. But Cori Bush, somebody that y'all know some people in St. Louis and Chicago. Y'all got family down there. Tell Cori Bush's ass, who's on that oversight committee, that the same way that she was sleeping on the steps of the Capitol for people to get some rent relief from being kicked out, the same way that punk ass John Lewis, and I don't know how he was able to sit on the floor so long. Many people knocked him in the behind, but he was down there on the floor for the illegals. Those people need to sit in and do the same goddamn thing in the House of Representative chambers if they want this damn bill tabled. Exactly. That's the kind of stuff we must demand from people.
Exactly. The thing is that, like as you were saying, because they get in based off of we need black faces in high places. You know what I'm saying? It's this whole,
and they need black faces in low places too. That's how you get picked. And that's another discussion. It's just like the rap game. DC is just as nasty as Hollywood. I'm telling y'all. This must be queerwood or homowood. It's just nasty. And a lot of these black politicians are compromised. A lot of them are AKAs. Maybe those sisters can't open their mouths. They have too many fur balls in their throat from Nancy Pelosi or somebody. But I'm sick of it. We have to get sick of it. And to me, if this is what LGBTQ does, where nobody can speak up for black rights, and we need everybody to be straight. I'm just complete. Yes, damn, homophobia must be good because people used to speak up when people didn't accept everything. Although there's no such thing as homophobia, but I'm just saying that to be an idiot because that'll get some views.
That's true. Helping me with the algorithm.
I don't care who you're messing with. I mean, it's your stool sample, not mine. Okay. And sisters, just think about it. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Share this, talk to people, look it up. And of course, I want to say this again. BACPAC, the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee. We're going to fight this. The press release this out. I think I sent it to you, brother, so you should share it with your audience. And they should know that we're on it. And we're going to stay on it. We're going to ride this thing. In fact, this is going to be like like Willie Brown and Kamala Harris. Until it goes bad, we're going to be on it.
Wow.
In fact, I always wondered, back in 2008 or 9, Willie Brown, or around that time, sometime in the 2000s, it's alleged that Willie Brown was doing a sandwich with another dude and a woman, and the dude had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And I'm wondering, what's the woman Kamala? You wonder why she giggles so much. I'm wondering if some of that cocaine in the White House was hers, because she'd be laughing all the time.
Speaking of, and there's an interesting way to you know the word I'm trying to use. Segue. Thank you. Interesting enough to segue. How that Dr. Short is not even slightly exaggerating is because I think it was like earlier this month or late last month, they found, and this is confirmed, this wasn't no rumor or conspiracy, they actually found cocaine in the White House.
That's the third time they found dope in the White House recently. A cocaine another time, and then weed. This is the first time it's made it to the news. The information was forced out. The Bidens are dirty. Hunter Biden was kicked out of the Naval Reserve in 2014 for substance abuse. This is no secret. Anyone can look this up. I'm not talking about anything. The real problem with a lot of people is they have their heads up their asses or their heads between someone's legs instead of paying attention to what's going on. Not to begrudge people putting their heads up their asses or, I don't know, munching salad or whatever it is that you're doing. But some of the time and some of your brain cells have to be dedicated to understanding what the hell is going on around you. Otherwise, you're like a person that's had 240 ounces, run around Mardi Gras buck naked. See, if you pass out, you don't know whether someone's going to run a train on you or not. And I would say that what this 4321 is basically the racist Nazi Republicans running a train on us. Now, I need to say this of Mr. Babin. He's of the 36th Congressional District in Texas. He's a descendant of a major slaveholding family from Essentia Parish in Louisiana. You got family from Louisiana, McCoy?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
You have family from Louisiana?
Yeah, my family comes from the South. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, I won't get into why. Look, Babin, slaveholding family. And folks connected with the White League, which mass murdered Black people all over the state of Louisiana. In fact, in 2017, they took down a small phallic monument to the White Man's League or the White League that mass murdered Black people in Louisiana. They would just kill people. In fact, I got two pretty easy books. Somebody from Mississippi, but was familiar with this. You familiar with this book here? And it's cheap too. It's about $7 on Amazon.
I just zoomed in so people can see it.
Ida B. Wells, who has projects named for her in Chicago, Mob Rule in New Orleans. It just talks about how people get down, how Babin's ancestors and their friends and neighbors treated Black people. This man comes from centuries of killing, lynching, butchering, and enslaving Black people. And a more exhaustive book on lynching, Ida B. Wells' book, The Red Record. This is one of the greatest people our race has ever produced. Ida B. Wells is the finest, greatest Black woman. I love her. Oh my God. I love you, Ida B. Wells. A real Black woman. She wasn't twerking. She was strapped and packing. And she knew how to advocate for women, but she loved Black men. She wasn't fooled. She wasn't a pork chop feminist. She understood how they're trying to play Black women against Black men, unlike a lot of these sorry ass women out here today who are the biggest Benedita Arnolds. In fact, to make Benedict Arnold come off like H. Rap Brown or Malcolm X. Ida B. Wells, these are books you can get on Amazon, but Mob Rule in New Orleans, just to get some background on how bad it is in Louisiana. And understand, if I'm not incorrect, it's either close to or it's in the congressional district of Mr. Babin, Jasper, Texas, where they dragged that Black man, Mr. Byrd, dragged him to death. Mr. Babin is from a super clan area, and many of the co-sponsors of this bill are from Texas. Many of them are from law enforcement, or they've worked in prisons, or they were military police. Undoubtedly, many of them have controversial pasts in which they've more than likely brutalized and hurt Black men and women. Yeah. And last but not least, I need to tell everybody that there is these people are funded by racists in Israel and in other places. The legislation that they're pushing, the same people who drafted 4321 and gave it to Congressman Babin's office, is called the American Legislative Exchange Council. It's based in Northern Virginia, not far from where I am. And these are the people who sit down and craft laws for the Congress and for states to attack Black people.
What did you say the name was again? I'm trying to look it up.
Well, the nickname is ALEC, ALEC, but it's called the American Legislative Exchange Council. But you can just look up ALEC, it will pop right up. ALEC is responsible for getting states drafting the legislation and getting money, getting politicians to push things that are against Black people. By the way, all of you that have Obamacare or the American Affordable Care Act, which I most certainly have, I have Obamacare. And if I had not had it when I got sick last year, I wouldn't be here. You need to know that 4321 would treat the Affordable Care Act as a reparations. And if they can't knock it out through 4321, you need to know that Congressman Babin has a whole bunch of bills in his basket. Look his ass up online. He has a bunch of things against the Affordable Care Act. They do not want 15 to 20 million Black people to have access to health care. That will help us die. It sure would have helped me die last year had I not had it. Okay? That's death. It's a genocide bill. The American Legislative Exchange Council also are the people that created the stand your ground shit, where folks Black are getting shot all over the country. Mm-hmm. They crafted that. And not only have they gotten these bills before Congress, they work in every state in the country where they've got racist, Nazi, Klansman type white folk who they can enter these bills to attack us. And so, and they've drafted close to 4,000 bills. At least 600 have become laws across the country. They're like a Ku Klux Klan policy machine. What can hurt niggas? Oh yeah, that's great, that's great. They all get together. No, who's the fellow Peckerwood that would introduce this so we can really hurt Black people one more time? Oh yeah, Uncle Clan. Who's Uncle Clan? The Lone Star Nazi. Oh, Babin. You know him? Yeah. We'll give it to him. And this is how it operates, but we can stop this. Now, I want to remind people, now that I've done this, luckily for me, and I want to say the reason that we've got an effort pushing against this is people who have donated to Backpack or donated to me directly. It allows you the time, the resources, the materials, the books. I got this. I mean, a lot of times you just can't keep up with it. I got this book here just so I could do my research on the Lost Cause. The Lost Cause is essentially white folk who are fighting to preserve the Confederacy, white supremacy, and ways to keep Black people enslaved. And I can't afford to keep up with all the stuff I need to have because we will be doing papers. We're going to have a press conference and do other things to fight against Mr. Babin. I'll be writing things for our Backpack website. And I just thank people who have given. People have given us resources, and our resources actually go global. It's allowed us time to do consulting with Diaspora Global. I'm hoping to have an international radio program sometime between now and October if we can get this. So we'll be going all over the world. But of course, our focus will be here. And what I'll be doing is internationalizing the Black American issue in Africa, Europe, and the Caribbean. And one of the things I have to do, I've been like sending resources to my researcher in East Africa. There are a couple of people that we work with. I want to let you know that we're also standing up against this rainbow foolishness. We have a book that will come out called The Onslaught Against Africa. I've written a foreword for it. Backpack is also, before this film came out, Sound of Freedom, we're working with activists in Mississippi and across the country to fight against human trafficking and the enslavement of Black women and girls. We have a thing called the Innocence Project that's being headed up by a distant cousin of mine. I have lots of cousins. Dr. Vivian Moore Gray out of Tupelo, Mississippi. And we have another book coming out by her called The Tears in Your Tissues Reveal Your Issues, as we look at ways to help people heal from being hurt. So Backpack works in conjunction with Hollis Media, which also works with the coalitions that I have, one in DC called the Chocolate City Coalition, which is in the formation. My research group, although it's small, is called the Society for Aboriginal and Africans in the Americas, in America Research Society, SARS. And I'm working with Sister Sean and others as we look at how we can put this out. You need to understand that the people who put up this legislation are funded. People put money on them. They are being paid to do this, aside from the fact that they just hate our guts. We believe that we're going to successfully counter this. And the degree to how we're successful depends on whether people support us. So the person that sent me $5 or whatever you sent, I thank you. I promise you, I promise you, I'm not spending my money on blondes. I'm not trying to go to the Riviera. I'm not trying to buy cocaine or a bottle of liquor or anything like that. Almost everything that I do has to do with, if it's not some incidental things, it's trying to have the resources. I have to have, as you know, Brother McCoy, multiple phone lines because they make my phones mess up and they hack your computers and so forth. You know what I'm talking about. Yep. It's not easy speaking up. It costs you. So I keep 4 phone lines. I actually need 5 because I know what it's like. They call and your phone won't work or your computer won't come online. When I used to have my YouTube thing, they wouldn't let me get on my own YouTube channel for hours at a time. But when people drop resources, it gives you options. I was just talking to a gentleman that has his own app. I'm going to call him back. That's why I was a couple of minutes late, Brother Afro. But if he has an app, work with him and see if we can make that thing financial. Well, we'd have a way to get stuff out, not constantly get censored or blocked or shadow banned. Now, you know that this channel should have 10,000 people by now, just based on productivity. And they're blocking you. So everybody that's watching this, please like this. As I say, liked it. Say that with me. Liked it. Like this thing. And share it with someone. Just pretend it's an STD or a blunt. And pass it around. Don't feel inhibited. Do something. If you did nothing other than posted and blogged information to people that are thinking, it will make a difference. I want to give a shout out to Brother Raheem Shabazz down in Atlanta. Raheem Shabazz sent this 4321 to me. He was upset. Then I got upset. Then I got really upset. Then all my friends are mad too. I'm going to tell every goddamn person I know that they're trying to run this shit on us, and we're going to stop it. I'm not just going to whine and complain to people that I know and sit down. I'm going to find some people, and we're going to fight these devils.
Yep.
And we need to start, the thing I love, one of my favorite movies, although I haven't seen it since it came out, was New Jack City. Not that I like the drugs, but my favorite part was when they went to town and they mowed down the mafia people on the motorcycle. I really like that because it's like someone hitting back instead of just taking a hit. We have to fight people. The reason that people, pardon my language, are fucking with us is we aren't fighting anybody but each other. I used to work in the food service industry as a butler, caterer, bartender. And if I told you all the other people stuck together and the cattiest people, the people that constantly fought each other, competed with each other, were jealous bitches. Oh, you thought I was talking about black women. No, the black men were the biggest bitches in the world. They even just always fighting for the pure bitchiness of it, to the point where, I don't use the word bitch typically to talk about women. I'd say bitch half the time or more. I'm talking about men. The women have become macho, and the men are the new bitches. Don't work together. Don't stick together. Don't respect one another. This is absolutely, we've got to change this. We need to take some of that aggression and anger and direct it towards people who have their foot up our ass. Yes. See, I don't displace anger. I despise people who will channel anger against a person that wouldn't do anything to them. And that's an ugly, vicious, dirty, despicable trait in black men and women, that they hurt people who are not even trying to fight them. Do you know who else does that? white people. We're
Mm.
just like them, and we need to stop being like them. I don't want to hurt anybody that doesn't want to hurt me. I don't want to fight anyone that doesn't want to fight me.
You know,
But I do want to fight back against anyone that messes with me or mine. I'm down for mine. I
yes.
see you out here struggling, brother, saying all this good shit, all young and all this stuff. You could be chasing white women or whatever, and you're doing all this black work. He says, we got to encourage this dude. Damn, I'm like, have you seen him? This is great. We should be attracted to people that are fighting. The same way when you had the maroon communities, when people learned there was a place you could go where people didn't want to be slaves, they weren't going to kiss ass. It wasn't just here. It was in Jamaica. It was in Brazil. We're tired of shit. We're going to find the other people tired of shit. Get with them and stand up. You can do it. And if you can't do that, if you have a job, you have to kiss people's ass by day. I understand. It's called financial cooning. You have to coon to pay bills, the mortgage. I do understand. If that's where you are, that doesn't stop you from sending this brother $20 a month. He's got 6,500 plus followers. If everybody sent him $10 a month, he could quit his damn job and just go full tilt raising hell.
I could get a studio. I could have, more time on my hands. It'd be great.
Absolutely. Literally, let me say this to you. The donations that the people sent to me gave me the time to write the press release. It gave us the means to get the press release out. It's given us the means to call and talk to people. This wouldn't happen without great people who may not have a whole lot, but when we push our little bit together, I want to thank the person that sent me. The names came up with these shades because I hate the light. My eyes are light sensitive. I'm not trying to be cool, but it does look cooler with the shades on and off. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 20. Thank you for the 2. I may have, according to certain people, I may have about 25,000 followers. Do you realize if all of them sent me 50 cents in a month? Damn. So I'm not trying to break anyone's budget, nor are you. Support this channel, retweet this. And by the way, look at the past interviews. This brother has so much information all up there. Let me tell you something. He's turning out videos like Wilt Chamberlain busted nuts back in the 70s. I mean, just every time, God damn, you got another damn boy. Get some sleep. Find a white girl. Do something. The revolution's not going to happen tomorrow. Wait. Okay. And so support him, help him. And if you don't help him, help somebody. And if you're helping someone like you're giving to a church, the mega pastor and the nigga never talks about anything. And he always tells you, if you're a man, you need to praise God like a woman. Oh, I wish I would just get more emotional and just cry before the Lord and send me another $500, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of giving money to people who are refusing to come out and do the work of God, which is helping their people, send it to other people. It's still giving. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Someone I know was in Africa, a wonderful person I worked with. They had to have surgery. Couldn't give them everything, but I sent them enough money for them to get their surgery. Hard fighting sister. I'm going to introduce you to her, brother. And she's telling me about how fake the people are in Africa. And that's my spy over and telling me about all the LGBTQ money where they're going up to broke homeless people, telling them to just say they're gay and they'll give them a whole bunch of money. To get, man, this is just some crazy. Oh my God. You wonder why I have a heart condition. You learn the stuff they're trying to do to us, man. And see, and that's why Meechers, they get so excited. There's somebody else tired of the shit. All of you out there listening, we just don't have any more time. They're coming for us. The more insecure these people feel about their numbers and the demographics and so forth, the changes in the world, the meaner they're going to be to us, because them kicking us in the ass has made them who they are. They're not going to stop kicking us in the ass until we break their toes. Have you ever had someone try to do a karate kick and you deflected and you knocked their ass off their kick and they break their ass? They stop trying to kick you. Oh, we're going to go head up. No, motherfucker. Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make people respect us. We do it to one another, but we seem to be cowardly and telling, I don't care who it is, we don't make the people in these corner stores respect us. We don't make boule Negroes respect us. Instead, we displace this anger. We must make people. And by the way, you don't have to be tough. I'm not a tough guy. I'm certain if Afro Elite had a Chihuahua, that thing probably eat me up like a pit bull. I'm nobody's macho man, a superhero. I don't want to be. My God is great, and that's enough for me. But what I'm saying, and my people are great if we work together.
Mm.
All of us are capable. This is a solvable problem. If I thought there was nothing that could be done about this, I would say, man, we just fucked. But because I know if enough of us say hell to the no on this, I'm talking about Whitney Houston before crack took her voice. If enough of us say hell to the no on this, and if we say crack is whack, Republican crack is whack, Democrat crack is whack, Boule crack is whack, sellout Negro crack is whack, and we stand on it, and we plan on it, and we do everything that we can do within our capacity, like our ancestors who may not have been able to run away to slavery, but they may ruin a crop or burn some shit down. They did all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. These people sent, I don't know, 50 or was it 75? I don't even ask people for an amount. My thing is that they do it. For us to be in the active act of supporting and giving to one another is very important. There's a scripture in the Bible. I know it's not cool being a Christian, but I'm a nigga Christian, and my Jesus is not a L'Oreal sissy, okay, with blonde hair, tossing her hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, if you give, you give. If you give, you'll get by the measure that you give, pressed down and shaken together. If we give each other love and support, we're going to get more than our share of love and support back. If we give each other hell, bullshit, black self-hatred, colorism, jealousy, I want to be a man because I think so and I'm a woman and I give disrespect to every black man and I'm wagging my head, or I only respect white women. If we do that, then it multiplies negativity and toxicity back to us. So one of the things I want to say, everybody that wants reparations and justice and freedom and land has to commit themselves to being different towards one another. And for the black folks, let me just give you our word. Now, shut up here because we've been on here for a while. The Jews had a word in Israel for the ones who didn't fight the Germans back.
Mm.
It's called Sabanim or Saban. Saban is singular, Sabanim is plural. Sabanim or Saban is a Jewish word or Hebrew word for soap. So they call all the Jews that didn't fight back because the Germans had made soap out of people's fat. They called them soap.
Oh, wow. Y'all remember that.
It's another word for coward. We can't help the Sabanim, and they would be called Sabanim Schwarzer or Sabanim Kushi, which would be cowardly niggas in Jewish slang. Sabanim Kushis are already a lost cause. When you go to a party, if you keep trying to talk to the woman that won't dance to you, dance with you, or give you a phone number, and won't let you buy them a drink, you're a simp, a sucker, and a chump. You should be talking to the person that's like, trying to buy you a drink with the condom in it, with the lemon slice. That's who you need.
We don't have to be on much longer. I know that person has called you like a few times. So
yes, sir. So look, y'all.
He's a very big man, y'all. That's why y'all got to hit his Cash App.
Backpack is here. We want people to join. Our website is bacpac.info. 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 info. we're new, and we're starting out fighting big, important white folk, and it's a great way. You know, most of what I see on social media is just black people fighting each other, black men and black women arguing with each other, which is healthy on a certain level. But you know what? We got to get past some of this bullshit that we feel for one another, and we need to deal with folks who are trying to take us out. If a man won't sleep with you, or he doesn't want you, or he thinks you're fat, or if a woman won't talk to you because she wants to be with a white dude or a Latino, at least they're not trying to kill you. At least they're not trying to take all your money. We get very angry. We have an exaggerated ability to be angry with one another, and we forgive everybody else. We need to forgive those that can be forgiven. Those people that are sabonim, that don't want to get together, that don't want to respect or love one, cut their asses off and only invest time in the people trying to get us our MFM. Brother Afro, we can do this again. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe when you get to 7,500, you won't want me on your show anymore. But until you get to 7,500 or 8,000, whatever your number is for Dr. Short's cutoff, call me if you need me to do a program with you. As well, we need to bring Dr. Winters back. It's good for him.
Yes.
He's old. He needs to be yelling at people. So
Yeah.
bring us back. God bless everybody. Thank everybody for the donations. Pray for us. I believe, my brother, that things are going to work out. We're going to turn this out. We're going to overcome. And I'm not talking about the way Kamala's talking about. we're going to overcome the way that Nat Turner and Martin Luther King and all the others wanted. And we can do this again. If folks want to reach me, my email is WRandyShort, WRandyShort@gmail.com. It's right up there. I do respond to people. As long as they're not trying to do hookups and inappropriate things, I try to respond to people. If I can help you with something, or if I can direct you to someone, I will. If I don't know, I don't know, but I'll try to respond. I honor emails as best I can. We're working on some other things. So if people are trying to find people to work with, we're hoping that wherever you are in the country, if folks are down for a fight, perhaps we can partner between Backpack and others to see what we can do. It's about 12 of us. We've got a group in Chicago. I've got a posse in Chicago right now. I got a posse in Mississippi, a posse in Texas, a posse in well, of course I have a posse in DC area. I got a posse in California. We've got a few people. Of course, we have people in Illinois. I've got a person or two in Missouri. We do, and we have more. And on top of that, we have partners. There's a handful of us. Let me just give you some numbers. The Black Panther Party never had more than 5,000 people, and many of them were FBI informants. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee never had more than 600 people. The Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters did not have more than 3,000 people. The Congress of Racial Equality never had more than a few thousand people. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference never had more than a few thousand people. It only takes a few thousand Black Americans to shake up the whole world. We don't need millions. We just need a few thousand, like Gideon in the book of Judges. I think in the book of Judges 7, where Gideon had an army initial of about almost 26,000, 27,000 people. And God said, nigga, this is too many. You need to cut this shit back. And he got down to about 400, 400. We don't need everybody. But we want everybody to be on code. If you're down for a fight, if you're tired of coons, if you're tired of Negro inferioritism, and you're tired of white supremacy, let's be in touch. Like this channel, this brother should have 10, 20,000 people. If he were up here doing fans only, he'd have 100,000 people. It seems as if we need to be able to be interested in things other than sex. Those white supremacists, trust me, they screw and party too, but they're real serious about kicking us in the ass. You can too, black men and black women screw and get high and stand up against people that hate you. If you can only do one thing, something's wrong with you. And that's why if all you can do is screw and get high, you shouldn't do it at all because you need to be able to fight for your survival. This is a struggle for survival, okay? And reparations isn't going to be for just a handful of Negroes. That's the beauty of it. All of us who survived what they've done are due. Let's not blow it. It's time for me to go. I love you, brother. Keep making them. And God, it's amazing. Even though I know you're a grown man with watch you, I almost feel like a child speaking. It's wild. Anyway, you take care.
You,
bless you. Bless you. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, that was Dr. Randy Short. All of that knowledge from the beginning to the end. You know, I jumped in here and there a little bit, but pretty much Dr. Short, you know, when you get him started, is so much knowledge in his brain. When you get him started, you know, he has so much like I keep saying knowledge because I can't think of a better word for it. He has so much knowledge, so much history, so much experience. He's so seasoned that not only is he able to articulate the issue, he's able to articulate the result of the issue, the long-term effects of that issue. He's able to articulate exactly experience. Good word for it. He's able to articulate the what's that word? Cause. He's able to articulate the cause of the issue. All of these things he's able to. So this is why it's very important that we support our good brother Dr. Short. This is why I kept like trying to, not like in a harassing way, but I kept trying to flash his Cash App up. Also, his email and his Zelle are the same thing. So if you guys, you know, for the ones who prefer to use Zelle, if you want to use Zelle, that's your prerogative. His Zelle is his email, so you just put that into his Zelle. Shout out to the people sending me the Cash Apps. Okay, shout out to, we have Chris. Not gonna say your full name, Chris. Shout out to you, Chris. Shout out to Albert. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to you all. Let me get to the. I was trying to read the chat room that's why I was kind of like squinting, because I'm trying to like read the chat as it's going, because I think we had a troll in here earlier. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they slip in. Shout out to the super chat from Herc Owen with the $2 super chat. He says, that's a rat. He was talking to about when Randy Short was talking about the Ratatouille coon character. Okay, he's a coon and a rat. Okay, two animals at the same time. All right, shout out to him. He says, that's a rat flint bastard if I ever saw one. Yeah, he is. Shout out to our brother for the $3 super sticker, DBS for $3 super sticker. Shout out to Ricky12 for the 1999 super chat. Shout out to Ren11B Airborne for the 1999 super chat. Appreciate every single last one of you brothers. We're not done. You thought we were done. We're not. Shout out to Herc Owen again for a $5 super chat. He says, this it's them, Jack and Jill, Blue Vein Society, that hate that we were born black. They do. They honestly do. Support Dr. Short, absolutely, and his backpack. That's BACPAC, not backpack like on your back, but the backpack BACPAC. His backpack movement. He speaks the truth always, absolutely. He tells no lies. Shout out to our good brother Black Logic for the $50 super chat. He says, great work, brother Afro Elite. Keep grinding. B1 to you, brother. He's over there. He's got his channel going on. Y'all go check it out. Me and him did a collab last week. I think it was last week. It was last week, I believe. Very good collab. Everybody who saw it loved it. You guys definitely want to check it out if you guys haven't done so. Shout out also to our brother YG11TB1 for the $49.99 super chat. He says integration and assimilation caused the disintegration. Oh, okay. Disintegration. I like the way you said that. Integration and assimilation caused it. You need to be you rhyme, brother. Do you rap, brother? I like that. It caused the disintegration of our communities. Yeah, it did. We took our spending power to prioritize our open enemy. That's unfortunately true. That worked against our interests. Long term, my tongue is twisted. I'm sorry, y'all. Long term economic boycott will bring them to the table. We just got to get on code, and that's 100% true. The thing is that apologize for my tongue twisting. The thing is that we have economic power. Now we understand the fact that we're economically deprived. That's one thing we have to have the clear, very, very, very clear understanding of. We are economically deprived, but we still, with the economics that we do control, with the money that we do control, there is a way to spend it. Okay. When you're playing, for those who play cards, right? When you're playing cards, unless the dealer, which is the person passing the cards out, unless the dealer is cheating and deliberately giving you a bad set of cards, what they would call a bad hand, because you pick it up and you look at it. That's why they call that a bad hand, because sometimes it can be random and it just happens to be where the cards that you got in your hand, they're just not a good set of cards. So that's what they would call a bad hand. Now, we are always dealt, though not a bad hand, the worst hand. Nobody else is dealt a worse hand than we are dealt. Now, when people play cards, just because you are dealt a bad hand doesn't necessarily mean that you're doomed. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to fail, that you can't succeed. That does not mean that, okay? You can still win the game if you play your cards smart. If you are a smart player and you know how to play your cards, you can still win the game. But you have to understand that everyone else has better cards than you. Everyone else has the advantage, okay? So going back to what our brother was talking about, the money that we do have, the time that we do have, the resources that we do have, we can use that strategically, despite the fact that we're subjugated, despite the fact that we're ostracized, despite the fact that we're oppressed. We can still use what we do have, the resources that we do have. We can team up with a like-minded brother or sister, and we can play the game with the cards we have, and we can win the game. So that's the mentality that we should be thinking about this with. All right. Says Afro, yeah. Oh yeah, I bring heavy hitters. Oh definitely. By the way, let me pull this up real fast because I guess Twitter is called X now. So Twitter is called X, I guess. I mean, okay. Well, okay, all right. That's don't ask me why, because I don't know. If you ask me personally, I don't think it was the smartest decision, but who am I? It's not like, I don't know. But I want to pull this up real fast. Let me get this off the screen. Because we had a reparations meeting, and I was talking about this the other day. Hold on. Where is it? It was just up here. Okay, hold on. No. Right here. The X thing is, I don't know, it's like throwing me off. But we have another reparations meeting. Let me make this bigger for you all. In the same place. Now, we did this before, and it was people who showed up like right as we were closing up. Because we did it Friday. It was like Friday at 11. We did it from 11 to 1. This time we're doing it Saturday. This Saturday coming up, okay, which is the 29th. Mark your calendars from 1 to 3. So I tried to make it fair. That way, even if you work on Saturday, hopefully you'll be able to get off in enough time to make it to the meeting. It's in the same location. I feel like that location is easy access for a lot of people. The parking's fair. You know, it's free, of course. You know, once again, there's going to be refreshments, you know, so definitely we're going to be having a continuation of the meeting we had beforehand, where we're actually going to be using a lot of the notes that we had from the previous meeting, and we're going to be putting that together, because we are going to take our time, but we're going to prioritize this. You know, we're not going to rush it, but we're going to make sure that this is done quickly and effectively, okay, efficiently. We are going to create from the ground up, never done before, from the ground up, a reparations agenda. And this agenda, right, not just in Chicago, because it can be applicable to all cities across America, and this agenda can be used nationwide, okay? You can just pretty much flip the city from Chicago, put Atlanta, Chicago, put New York, Chicago, put what, you know, wherever, you know what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing. All right. So just like what our brother Dr. Randy Short was talking about, we're having other people who are supposed to be out for our interests, supposed to be our representatives, supposed to be our politicians, but they're going along with the agendas of the dominant society against us. We can't allow that anymore. So this is why it's time for us to take initiative. It's time for us to step up and come up with the plans and say, this is what we're doing moving forward. So that's what we're going to be doing in Chicago this Saturday. If you're in the area, it would be great if you guys came, shared your thoughts, met like-minded people, you know, came to support. That would be a blessing to see every single last one of you all. You should also be following me on my various social media pages, which is Afro Elite on Instagram and the Afro Elite on Twitter. All right. The links to those, of course, are in the description, like they're always in the description. And with that being said, my good brothers and my good sisters, my beloved sisters, good brothers and beloved sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all. And of course, you all have a good one.